campaign called Scripture Future. How many of you remember Scripture Future was here before? If you don't remember, Scripture Future is all about medication adherence. And if you don't remember, adherence is how to take your medication correctly. We want to make sure you know how to take the medication like the doctor told you, like your pharmacist tells you, or like a trusted adult tells you. Here's a list of objectives. This is basically what we're going to go over today. I know it looks like a lot. It's a little scary. If you don't understand anything right away, don't worry. We're going to go over it all. And if you have any questions, feel free to shout out, raise your hand. We want a lot of participation from everybody. Don't be shy. The first thing we're going to talk about is how to become medication smart. That might not make a lot of sense right now, but we're going to go over it all. There's going to be two big ideas that we're going to cover today, and that's going to help increase your adherence. The first thing is going to be asthma. We're going to talk about what asthma is. I'm sure everybody here knows somebody that probably has asthma if you don't have asthma yourself. We're going to talk about what an asthma attack is and what causes an asthma attack and how to avoid one. We're going to go over something called an asthma action plan, and you're actually going to get a paper that describes that. Then you're going to get to look at and sort of play around with a couple of devices to treat your asthma. And these are called inhalers, and Kyle's actually going to go over that with you. And then the next big thing we're going to talk about is how to get rid of medications. And this is a big part of adherence because it's going to reduce the amount of extra medications floating around that we really don't need. We're going to go over why that's important. We're going to go over a couple of do's and don'ts with you. And then we're going to talk about where you can take these medications to get rid of them. And then we actually have a couple systems for you to take home to safely get rid of your medicines. So we're going to show you how to use one here, and then you're going to have one to take home at the end of the day. If anybody has any questions, make sure you stop me. So first we're going to go over just a couple little things here. When you don't take your medication as directed, you put your health and your future at risk. This is why medication adherence is important. So I want everybody to get into groups of threes. So everybody can move around and do that. And now out of your group of three, I want one of you to stand up. Now that one person, you'll see in that first block there, you'll have gotten a prescription from the doctor but never got it filled. And that's what we mean by bad adherence. Now you can sit back down. The second block here, nearly 45%, that's almost half of the population has a chronic condition. And does anybody know what chronic means? Okay, chronic is when you have a condition or something wrong that you're going to be treated for the rest of your life. It's never going to go away. And that's something like high blood pressure, or something wrong with your stomach, or something wrong with your heart. So people that have those types of problems are going to take a lot more medicine than anybody else. Then down in the lower block here, we have one more person can stand up from your group. A third of these people, that's one person out of your group of three, is going to end up in the hospital because they didn't take their medication like they were supposed to. And then you can sit back down. And then the last one here, nearly 3 out of 4 of Americans don't take their medication like they're supposed to. That means out of the 4 of us students that are here today, 3 of us didn't take our medicine like the doctor told us to. And then this here in the middle, Americans spend $290 billion on health care a year. That's a lot of money. I'd like to make $200 billion a year. So we're going to go over how to be medication smart. So does anybody have any ideas how to be medication smart? So the first thing you can do is to know the name of your medicine and what you're taking it for. Now why does anybody think this is important? Let everybody answer. So you should know the name of your medication medication so that, let's say, you get a prescription from the doctor, from the pharmacy, and your parents give it to you at home or whoever you may live with, and then you go to stay at your friend's house for the weekend. Now, if they go to give you your medicine, you want to make sure you know the name of that medicine so you know it's yours. That's pretty important. And number two, how and when do you take the medication and for how long? You want to make sure that you know how often you're taking this. Maybe you usually take it twice a day, but when you go to your friend's house, they're only giving it to you once a day. So you might want to ask them, hey, what's going on? I know I'm supposed to take this twice a day. Number three, what food and drinks and other medicines should I avoid while I'm taking this medication? So some medicines that you take, you want to avoid certain things. For example, there's medicines that you can't drink grapefruit juice with. That's a big one. Other ones, if you, so we're going to move on. Number four, are there any side effects to this medication? What are they, and what should you do if they happen? So who knows what a side effect is, and can you name any side effects? So a side effect happens whenever you take a medication and something happens to you that wasn't supposed to happen. So let's say you take a medicine because you have a cold. Well, all of a sudden you get a really bad headache or you get a really bad stomach ache. That wasn't supposed to happen. So that's what we call a side effect. So what do you do if that happens? What should you do if you take a medication and something happens that shouldn't have? You should go tell somebody, right? You should tell a trusted adult, because they might need to take you off that medication. And then how do you store this medication? Who has taken a medicine that had to be kept in the fridge? It's usually one that's pink, or tastes like bubble gum, or tastes really nasty. We all know about those. And then, once again, we're going to have Pill Bottle Pete. Everybody should remember Pill Bottle Pete. We're going to be passing him around again. But this time, we're going to have something called an auxiliary label. These are going to be little colorful stickers, and they're going to have special directions on there for you. And this is going to relate back to what I just said about taking your medication correctly. And they're going to have those special directions of what you can take it with, sometimes when you can take it. You can see an example on here, take with food or milk. So maybe if you don't take this medication with some milk, it might upset your stomach. So these auxiliary labels are really important in helping you make sure you take your medication correctly and making sure that you do take it. Because if you take it and your stomach hurts, what's going to happen? You're not going to want to take it anymore. So when we pass around these bottles, we want to see what kind of auxiliary labels you guys can find with. And now I'm going to pass it over to Kyle so he can talk to you about asthma.
Alright guys, so Kyle here, and I'm going to be talking to you guys a little bit about asthma today. So asthma is a chronic disease state that causes your airway to become inflamed. Now, can anybody tell me what inflammation is? Good, yeah. So it's like a swelling that occurs in, the airways when you're breathing, and can make breathing really difficult at times. So, the cause of this inflammation is usually due to some kind of trigger. So, can anybody give me some ideas of a common trigger for asthma? Good, yeah. So some of the really common causes are, like pollen, strenuous exercise, you've been outside running around playing all day, extreme weather changes. Really big one is smoke, also chemicals that can be in the air, as well as, dust, and sometimes even just being stressed out can also have an effect on asthma. So, controlling your asthma. The first thing you want to do is talk with your doctor, after you've been diagnosed, of course. The first thing you want to do is talk to your doctor, and you want to create an asthma action plan. So we're actually going to go to the asthma action plan on the next slide, so we'll go into that a little more detail there. You also want to know what your asthma triggers are. What really brings on that asthma attack, what makes you have a hard time breathing. And you want to try to avoid that. And we know it's not always possible to avoid your triggers, but you just want to try to cut down on them if you can. So the third thing you want to do is, of course, take your asthma medication as prescribed. So, we're here talking about medication adherence. Of course, you want to take your medication as it's prescribed. And then you also want to track your asthma as well as recognize when your symptoms are getting worse. And your asthma action plan, which we're going to go over, that can help you guide you to, realize, hey, my asthma may be flaring up today, might not be feeling as well as I normally do. And then finally, you want to know what to do when your asthma becomes worse. So whenever you're having a hard time breathing, anything like that, you want to take action. So if you don't have your asthma medication with you, you want to find an adult, and you want to get some help. All right. So this brings us to the asthma action plan. So as you guys are in your groups, you should have an asthma action plan for everybody to look over. So basically, the asthma action plan is broken down into green light, yellow light, red light. So if we're in the green light, we're good to go. So, we're fine, not having any breathing issues, anything like that. Everything's green. Now, when we get into the yellow area, then we start noticing, a little bit of issues. And then when we get the red, then we really have some issues. And that's when, you want to take action. You want to talk to an adult, somebody you trust, let them know that, hey, I'm not feeling that well right now. And then you're also going to get numbers, which you'll go over, which is respiratory flow rate and that, but we don't need to go into all that. But basically, you're going to set those values, with your doctor, and they're going to tell you, hey, as long as you're here, you're good. All right, so now we're going to go over some of the asthma medication devices. So the most common is definitely the inhaler. So they're also known as meter dose inhalers, and as you can see from the pictures here, they come in, several different kinds. And also with the inhalers, you can also add a spacer on there, which is pretty common, especially in the younger patients. So that way, it really helps you to get that dose, into your lungs, really help open up your lungs and help you breathe better. And yeah, as you can see, several different kinds there. All right. So we also have nebulizers. So nebulizers are like a little machine, and basically it breaks down the medicine into really small particles that allow it to get really deep into your lungs and help open your airways up. With the nebulizers, you also have a mask that you have to wear. So these are little machines. Some of them are portable. Other ones, especially like in the hospital and that, the bigger machines, can't really carry those around with you. So, you're going to put the mask on, you're going to breathe in the medication and that, stuff like that. All right, so now we're going to get to a hands-on part. It's kind of the fun stuff here. So we're going to go over how to use the meter dose inhaler. So with the inhaler here, you're going to take the cap off. Then you're going to shake the inhaler. All right, you're going to tilt your head back slightly, and you're going to breathe out. So here, breathe out. Okay, you're going to hold your inhaler upright, and then you're going to press down on the inhaler as you slowly breathe in. So breathe out, breathe in as I'm pushing down on the inhaler. So once you do that, you're going to breathe in slowly for about 3 to 5 seconds. You don't want to count out loud because you're trying to breathe in at the same time, and that's just going to be difficult. So just count in your head. And then you're going to hold your breath for 10 seconds afterwards. That way, it really allows that medication to get into your lungs. So once that's complete, if you only have to take, if you only have to inhale once, then you're finished. You put your cap back on, put your inhaler away in a safe space, and if you have to take more than that, you're going to want to wait about a minute or so in between to, give your lungs some time to get that first dose in and then get ready for that second dose. So If anybody has any questions or would like to practice going over the inhaler, we can go ahead and go through that right now.
Now, you're going to talk about safe medication disposal. Who knows, who can tell us what disposal means? Thank you. And why is it important to dispose of medication? But before we do that, can somebody give me an example of a medication that they know that people take for and a disease they take it for? And as you have heard before, as Angela clearly said, that we have diseases that are chronic, that you have to take medication for the rest of your life, and there are diseases that you take medication for just for duration. Sometimes you don't get to take all your medication, and you don't really need them. So how do we get rid of those? Do we just throw them away in the garbage can, or what? Why do we have to get rid of the medication in the first place? Why do we have to get rid of the medication in the first place? They can do harm to other people who might have access to it, especially young kids or your siblings who are younger than you. They might do harm to your pets, if you have any pets. And also we have to remember, they might do harm to the environment. The environment we live in, whenever you drop something, if you drop it in the wrong place, it might be accessed by somebody or something else. So how do we get rid of the medication? How do we dispose of it? Do we put it in the trash? If we put it in the trash, it's going to be picked up by the garbage man, and it's probably going to end up in the downstream in the river. Or if we flush it through the toilet, it's going to probably end up in the water systems. Did you know that the water systems that we go fish in is where some of the water that we flush go to? So as I said, you cannot throw it in the garbage can. It will harm somebody. It will harm the environment, or it will harm some animal that's going to take it. So we need to avoid that. We need to throw all the pills in a safe container. In a safe container, and then dispose them off, so that we can avoid our pets eating them. We can avoid harming any other person who might have access to the medication. So should we flush it down the toilet? I already talked about it. Should we flush it down the toilet? No, you should not.
My name is Betty, and I am going to talk to you about how to dispose of the unwanted medication. So I'm going to ask any of you, do you know of any times when you've not had to use all your medications? Can you tell me reasons why? Okay. Now, we have different programs that can help us dispose of the medication we don't need. We have the DEA. We have the police stations, and this will preferably be your nearest police station. You can take back the medication to the pharmacy or any health department. Now, how do we dispose of the medication at home? We're going to mix these medications, the ones that are excess or the ones we don't need, we're going to mix them up in dirt. And we have several examples of dirt. Can somebody give me examples of the dirt you can use to mix the medication? I have like the dirt you can use like for the kitty litter. and also the coffee grounds, like the leftover coffee stuff that your parents may leave over, we can use that one too, to mix up unwanted medication. And we can also pour the unwanted medication in a sealed container, or even in a large jar. An example is also like the big detergent jars that are empty. Those also are very good to use. And then after we get this medication in the container we want it to be in, we then throw it away. But before we throw it away, there's one more thing we can do. We'll make sure if the medication is still in the vials and you're going to leave the medication in the vials, you have to make sure you scratch out all the information that is on the label, because this information is your own personal information. You don't want anybody else to get a hold of it. So you scratch out your name, your date of birth, and any information about you, on your phone number too. You scratch out all that information. And then today we brought for you some fun stuff to use, and these are examples of some of the containers you can use for medications. Now I'm going to give each one of you, your groups, each table, I'm going to give you a plastic bag and it's going to look like this. Okay, so each one of you, you're gonna get the bag, you're gonna tear it open, and then you pour the pills inside the bag, and then you get your bag and you pour it halfway, fill the water halfway in this bag, and then you make sure you seal the pouch and gently shake it. Make sure we try to make these pills dissolve, and then we throw it away in the trash. And then I want you to tell me what you've learned today from our lesson. Can any of you tell me what you've learned today? Okay, thank you. And then there's some extra stuff I could also add on, that if somebody has an asthma, we could go through the asthma plan that we've just learned today. And also, we've learned the do's and don'ts of disposing of the medication, and also the locations where we can take back the medication we need. And the bottom line is that we have to dispose of the unwanted medication in a safe way. Thank you so much.